Good morning or good afternoon or good evening, wherever you might be joining us from today. And today I'm really excited. It's like friends reunited right here in a little podcast. So today we're going to talk about Mexico in particular, and we have a lovely parent who's joining us, and also two wonderful, wonderful agents that we work very closely with. So, Lindsay, would you like to introduce yourself?
Okay. Yes, I'm a mom who had two of my daughters attend Morton. One that has left because she's in prep school in Mexico. She decided she wanted to make the route doing the IBs instead of the A levels. That's because she wants to have more chance of getting into an American university. And I've got Sarah, who is presently at Morton. And she's doing very well. She's very happy. And yeah, I've had two daughters that have had this journey with Morton, and it's really molded them into what they are today, which is amazing girls.
Oh, well, thank you. And also in Monterey, we have lovely Maria and Adriana. Maria, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, I am Maria. I work at Global Programs as Marketing and Public Relations Manager. I've been in global programs like 4 years and a half right now, and yes.
Lovely, thank you. And Adriana?
Well, I'm the general manager of global programs, and I have been working for international education since 9 years ago right now. So it's a pleasure for me to be here and talk to you and help with this talk to other parents that are looking for options in the UK. And that's it.
Thank you. So, Adriana, if we start with you, I know you've got lots of experience of working with families in Mexico. We know every family is different, every child is different, which is a beautiful, wonderful thing. What would you say, though, are some of the big things that Mexican families are looking for when they're looking to send their child to England to study?
Well, I think that the main is the safety, because here in Mexico we are a little bit stressed about the children going out alone, and the families always look a beautiful place and a good academic program. But I think that the most important thing is that they feel a place that is safe for the children, for their daughters.
Perfect. And by safe, is that kind of the location of where it is, the security of where it is?
Well, yes, the place, and that is a little town, maybe near the school. It not They are a little bit afraid of sending the children to a huge city, so they need to feel like the school is under the control of all of the girls there, and um, feel that if the children go out, they will be fine. They can be out like alone, or in not alone but in groups,
Yeah.
and they can have a very good experience visiting, I don't know, the market or some shops or cafes or something like that.
Absolutely. Yeah. And Maria, we know that I know that when I've been in Monterey or when we've done Zooms, it can be hard for us moms, and I'll ask Lindsay as well, in terms of, it's a mom in Mexico potentially sending, her daughter to a school like Morton, and the girls are sometimes very excited, and it's the moms that are perhaps worried. So as consultants, how do you kind of talk to your families, reassure them that this is a great opportunity? What do you do about that?
I think we always say like it's a great experience. Like it's something that they never like truly experience here in Mexico, and we as an agency always keep in touch with them, even like in the process of application, and also like when they are abroad, we always keep in touch. But we know and to all the schools we like send students and to study. And we know perfectly the school, and we know that they are safe and they're gonna have a very, very good experience. And we do love when we have a very good communication with the school, and the school also like gets in contact with the family and updates like in the daily life of the student, so the families can be more calm about their daughter or son all of the way in Europe. So
Yeah.
yes, we normally do that.
Perfect. And now, Lindsay, you're a real life mum of real life children living in Monterey. Does this all ring true to you? It's a big decision, isn't it? And you want to do the best by your children, and your girls have both blossomed in very different ways here, which is lovely to see. But how did you go about choosing the right place for your girls?
I think, really, in all honesty, it was Lucia approached me because she wanted to have an experience of studying in England. She wanted to have a different experience. So we then looked around and we found Morton fitted for us. And in all honesty, the reason why is because my parents live nearby. So that gave me that security net. If something goes wrong, grandpa can go or nana can go. So I had that really as a security blanket for the children. But also, I think a big concern for me was, are they going to fit in? Are they going to enjoy it? How are they going to deal with a different program of studying? How are they going to fit in with their different cultures? Because where the school my children are going to, it's mostly Mexican children. So you've got culture as well. And also being away from home. I mean, it's a big thing. It's like you've left that home that's like where if that you've had an upsetting day, mommy can put her arms around you and say everything's going to be okay tomorrow, you know. And or what if they've had an upsetting day and the time difference, for instance, they can't get hold of me. That was another concern. I mean, there's so many concerns that go through your head, because when Lucia left, she was 13. And to me, that was like, oh, that's really young. I mean, I left home when I was in my 20s. So it's a huge, difference there as well. For me, it's like old school, like, but to be honest with you, Lucia just, her first day, yes, obviously, was very like, oh, I want you to come and get me. I can't do this. This is like something I can't do. This is awful. Oh, I need you. Oh, no. And then by the next day, she had a full day of school and she was like, everything's great. Like, there's no worries, no problems, as if to say, I don't need to talk to you. I'm happy, And I was like, oh, wow, what happened? And then from that day, to be fair, she was so happy. She really was.
I think that's such a good point, isn't it? Because as parents, we worry and worry, and I guess as consultants or families, you worry. And I think that's really important there as a school to communicate with the parents. So we know that if the children call us, like you said, 1 minute it's the end of the world, but within the next few hours they've forgotten about it. You're still thinking, and I guess it's the school having that approach to say to the girls or the, whatever students that, if there's an issue, you can, come and talk to us first of all, and we can talk to the families, and to try and soften that, because it's being mindful of the family as well, isn't it? He's far away, and making sure that you feel, assured, and that you can trust the school as well.
Yeah, I think like I say, like the house mistresses help an awful lot. They home in, they check on the girls, they see who's having a difficult time. They get the boarders that have been there for like from last year or the year before, and they get them to help them through the process as well. So it's not just like the staff. It's also the students, their friends help them through it as well. It's like my daughter Sarah, who's presently there. She said, "Well, this is like my family." this is I mean, obviously you're my family, but now this is my family, and we all help each other through the difficult times, or, but they have more fun than difficult times, to be honest. I don't think they have. Well, I don't think Lucia had a difficult time at all, to be honest.
I think the girls say to me it's like a big sleepover with their friends every night.
That's it, big pajama party for a year.
Which is lovely. And I know that we'll never take the place of parents, but we have to be the best thing that we can, but be there for you as much as we are for them. And maybe on that side, Adriana, you are one of the calmest people that I know, Adriana. You're always really calm. You're always really smiley. But you will also have families, I imagine, on the other end of the phone that, are worried about various things. And I guess for you, Adriana, you're translating, you're communicating with the school. So what's important for you, Adriana, when you work with schools to make sure that you understand the school, that you can contact anyone there anytime you want to? Like, how do you manage that side of things between the school and between your parents?
Well, we need to have a communication with the school, because sometimes parents are worried for things that they are not really that important, they are
I can see Lindsay smiling behind her hands now.
yes, and they sometimes ask questions that there are not in our hands to answer. So we need to have communication with the school directly, so we can call the school and make sure that you as a school can answer us that thing that is like worrying the parents, and make the family sure that you are aware of that kind of things that they are having like a little bit trouble with, and make like the connection between the school and the parents, because sometimes the parents feel that we place the student and go away, and that's not true. If the student is happy there, we will have like a lot of other people coming to search us as an agency. So for us, it's very important to make that like engagement between the both of the parties. So for us, it's very difficult when the school doesn't have or is not like open to talk to us as an agency.
And does that influence this type of school that you work with, Adriana? How do you choose schools to work with? Because we know as well now that, we hear about new markets, emerging markets. It seems like everyone in the world wants to go to Mexico, and they think they're going to drive away with a bus full of children, to take to their schools. But you have to be selective. You can't work with everyone. So how do you decide what schools that you and Maria will work with?
Well, we give to the families personalized attention. So we at first talk to parents and know about what they need for the children. Sometimes it's just experience, and sometimes it's a sport or a location or whatever. So we try to find what is the main thing they are looking for in a school, because not all school is for all the children. So if they need a school, an only girl school, we try to present to them some options. But the main for us is that relationship with the school, because if there's a only girl school that is amazing, but they are not open to talk to make that engagement I mentioned before, is not an option for us, because we know that at some point we have to solve some issues with the family, and the school will not be there for us.
And that relationship, like you said, it's ongoing, isn't it? And the same for the parents. For Lindsay, it's not just at the start. It has to be an ongoing relationship. I know that we all between us message each other at the most random times between our countries. I'm thinking, why are they messaging? It's the middle of the night where they are. So I know that you guys work incredibly hard, and as parents, you don't switch off either.
No.
That communication is so
I
important.
think communication is such a big thing, actually. And I think if you had somebody that was like a go-to, even if they went straight to the school, like there's a WhatsApp message like group for the year group where you can send your message and that will get straight to somebody who can answer. I think that will be sort of like amazing for parents. They'll feel very happy with that. I think also what's kind of an important thing as well is when I talk to just friends, actually, I think they like an all-girls school if they're sending their girl because, I know it sounds daft, but they're teenagers and they don't want to have this, sort of like teenage crush going on and distractions, yes. Putting it politely, yes. I think that's kind of important, actually. And also, I know this sounds daft, but a lot of the parents have their children in ice skating. And I know that's not something that Morton provide, but a lot of people say, but I wanted to carry on with the ice skating and there's no ice skating facility. So it's just feedback that I've had, from general parents, of like, I think sport is also actually an important part of the academic, because in the Irish school they really force the sports side of it. Actually, right now it's become quite important. Actually, that has, and also independence. Children that are cling to their moms or cling to their fathers, and they have that kind of separation anxiety, I would call it. Really, they want them to get that bit of independence where
which I guess being in another country and in a boarding school, like you say, there's always that kind of little wave of culture shock, but at the end, they come out so brilliantly independent. And I suppose it's also which is a good question, Maria, I know that you are the marketing queen, and this leads on to what Lindsay's just been talking about sport, and like one child might want this, another child might want this. And it's important how we market ourselves. So Maria, I know, for example, Lindsay mentioned there that, ice skating. So for us, we know that we're really famous for lacrosse. Lacrosse might mean absolutely nothing to families in Mexico. What is lacrosse? The best way to explain it, it's like hockey, but you play it in the air. And I don't think that explains it. And it's an amazing game. And I perhaps don't give it, as much credit as it should have. But it's really getting out there that, if we have an inquiry about gymnastics, I've learned so much about different types of gymnastics, rhythmic gymnastics. I know, Maria, we were talking about gymnastics the other day. We've got a girl from Barcelona who's an elite hockey player. A girl from Chile plays on the England women's pathway. And I suppose it's for us getting that message across that, we are a great lacrosse school, but we do loads of other sports. And our girl on the England pathway for hockey, if we haven't got that elite level of team that she needs here, we find it, we take them. If it's ice skating, we could take them. So Maria, how do we market ourselves in the best way to Mexican families, would you say? What would your advice, what would your top tips be?
Well, I think that you having many sports, it's a very good thing because here in Mexico we have sports, but we have like the common ones that it's soccer, basketball, maybe volleyball and tennis. But I think the families want to send their children abroad also to try new things. In the UK, you have like sports that we do not play here, like lacrosse or rugby or other sports like that. And I think like promoting, like live a new experience, like try new things, try new sports. And we have quite a few like experiences with our students, like they didn't do any sports here in Mexico, but when they went abroad, they try a new thing and they were brilliant at it. So we are very excited about that, because in Mexico, mainly in Monterrey, we have a few athletes also that they want to continue to doing their sport,
Yeah.
but they also want to try new things that they haven't tried any time in their lives. So I think that, like, living a new like experience, try new things, try new sports, and get to know more, like the culture of the British sports, like the
Yeah.
common sports do you have is not our common sports. So
I was
it's
going to
very
ask you that. So I guess when they come over, it's really trying something that is very British. So although, for example, like you said, they've not played lacrosse, it's quite exciting, isn't it? The idea to do that. I know you like scones, Maria. So if we go out for tea and scones, that's very British for you, isn't it? You know, we
yeah.
always make sure we've got a scone when we're here. But I guess that's something that schools need to bear in mind, don't they? That it is just the culture. And if a student is coming for a shorter stay, like a year, if you're choosing a school like Morton, you know already the grades are going to be great, the facilities are going to be great. We're all going to have the swimming pool and the theatre and all of that. But although your students might not stay to take the exams if it was a shorter stay, the results show that the teacher's standard is very good. So they know they're going to get a great experience, but they want more than that. And the fact that we're open in half terms, I know we've spoken about, me, you and Adriana before, and obviously Lindsay experiences this, is a big help, I think, when students, are year 9 and above and they can stay at half term, because that can be backwards and forwards to Europe might be okay, but to Mexico and back, it's far
Yeah.
and exy at weekends. We
Yeah.
make sure they open as well, because it's another layer of worry, isn't it? Otherwise.
Mhm. Yeah, I think those like half terms for me at first. I was like, oh, how am I going to get back and sort of like take care of Lucia or, now Sarah? I'm lucky where my father can go and pick her up and take her out. Because I think they like that little bit of a break, don't they? They sort of like enjoy having a bit of break and then going back, because they see, like, I think when they see their friends who are not boarding, they go home, then they feel like, well, I want to do that as well. So, but when I've spoken to the house mistress and I've actually said it's a bit complicated, actually, I can't get her to go anywhere this week because parents, my parents have other things going on as well. They have a life of their own. So when they do stay, they're actually quite happy because there's so much going on that I think they probably do more in than being out, if that makes sense, even though they have a wonderful time, obviously, because I'm very lucky I've got my parents there.
Yeah.
But they do help the children who can't go anywhere for those little breaks in a week here and a weekend there. There's a lot going on, like really is. Sometimes I think, oh, can I stay for the week? To go shopping, just your own.
I know they're living the best life, and I've been out with Michael, our principal, and he lives here. He's got a house here. His daughters come to school and they call, and I say, "What's the matter?" He said, "They want to stay at school, and I live round the corner." I was like, "But that's because they're having the best fun, with their friends." And it's nice when you see international students be invited to houses of the British students. And I know that, you as a family have invited students from here over to Monterey as well. And that's lovely, because they're making lifelong friendships as well as having an educational experience as well, aren't they?
Yeah.
Lovely. Adriana, would you say that, I think we've got a really lovely special case with Lindsay and the girls that, they've been here or have been here for an extended time. But Adriana, would you say that mostly Mexican students are looking for a shorter stay typically?
Well, yes. The Mexican families, we are like a little bit apprehensive. So we always try to make that experience happen with our children, but not for a long time. I think that that's the common. 1 year for us as an agency, it's the common for the families. There are some that decided to leave the children there for 2 years, but it's like not the common. Yeah,
And
1 year.
1 year is generally
Yeah.
the trend. And I know that, listening also to what Lindsay said about it's that caring environment. So how do you measure, Adriana, if a school, we can all say we're the best school in the world because that's our job, isn't it? But how do you really know when a school really is very caring and you can say to your parents 100%, if you send them to this school, they're going to take really good care of them. How do you measure that?
Well, it's a difficult question, but I think that um, with with um, with the time we know the persons that the director or the admissions team or the boarding team, and sometimes we know that if we have a call and ask for something special for the children, the school answer us. We had some bad things during our work, like, I don't know, the disease of a father, of a grandfather. So at that point, we know that the school will help us in all the way to resolve that kind of things. And I think that the children tell the parents too about how they feel and if they feel sad or alone, and the persons taking care of them go and ask what happened today, why are you crying, or something like that. We know that the school is caring for all the things that the children can feel abroad,
Yeah.
And sometimes it's like just for a day, and there are some girls or boys that are a little bit more, I don't know how to explain it, like more sensitive about some things like food or a birthday here of a brother, sister, and that kind of things. It's better to feel like with someone there that caring, that maybe the we're very close in the families, so feeling that thing too there, it's important, and that's it.
Yeah, I know. I think, and that's really important that I guess the schools, and we know that obviously you've been to visit us. I had the most amazing time with all three of you in Monterey, earlier on this academic year as well. And I think it's really, for me, I know that I can reach out to you as well. I know that I can reach out to Lindsay, and hopefully that, she can reach out to me as well. And that's really important as well for, on both sides really. And Maria, I know as well as being like super, super good at marketing that you're super, super organized, because I've seen that firsthand as well. And you like it very orderly, which I love. So admissions, you can be honest, Maria, you don't have to name any names. Is there anything about the admissions process with schools that sometimes drives you a little bit crazy? Like what do you need in an admissions process when you're kind of with your family registering them? And what can schools do better to make your life easier?
Yes, and I will go back to the term like of communication. I think it's everything there, because we really the admission process, if it's really easy to do, it's okay. But if we need to organize the interviews, or the parents are asking some questions like, I don't have this document, I need to find this one, and we need to ask the school needs to be like in touch also with us, to have also like a good experience from agency and also from the family, like not taking too long to do like the admission process. I think the communication is really the main thing we focus, like it's a very huge factor for us to choose to work with a school, the communication, because here in Mexico, mainly, I think in Monterrey, we are very family oriented. So the parents need that reassurance from the school, like, I'm here, I'm gonna take care of your child, and yes, I'll be here, everything you need. So
And I
yes,
guess that starts
the
from,
vision part.
it starts from, like you said, it starts from admissions, doesn't it? You know, if you're going to have someone who's responsive, who's going to, you know, if that doesn't start right at the beginning, it doesn't make you feel confident in the school or the family feel confident. And I think for everyone, reputation is so important from our side. And then you've got Lindsay on the side of, you know, looking and checking, and you know, you get that feeling if people are responsive that they then care as well. And Lindsay, if we talk about kind of the idea of communication and being responsive, and to go more into the experience that your girls have had, what would you say? And two very different girls, like I said, who are brilliant in different ways. I saw Sarah down at Sports Day yesterday. I saw her in the show earlier this year as well. What would you say have been the highlights for your girls? I mean, obviously, you know, they live in Mexico. They've come from very different schools within Mexico as well. What would you say, what has made you think, yes, I made the right decision as a mom to take them out, you know, take them from Monterrey and put them in a school in England? What has really made you feel that?
Just seeing them so happy. Like Lucia's very academic, so she fitted in really well. Like, and I'm not saying Morton's all like, you know, just the academic side, because you cover a lot, but Lucia just felt more confident. She matured. She was just so happy, and she had good friends, real friends. And she got on very well with the teachers. And it was just that reinforcement from staff to friends of saying, you know, you're doing well. And, you know, she was just so happy. She found her home with Morton. And even my father, if he was sitting with me today, he would say it molded Lucia. It made Lucia who she is today. Obviously, she did a lot herself, but you helped her along the way. Any little struggle, you were there. Any little upset, you were there. And it's the truth. Like she misses Morton, actually. She might like me saying that, but she did. She does. She did say it. You know, and she's still in touch with her friends. You know, she's still in touch with them, and she calls them her real friends.
Lovely.
And for Sarah, as we know, Sarah has difficulties along her way of her academic life, and you know, she's got I don't mind saying, she's got ADHD as well as dyslexia. And what really made me cry as a mother, actually, and I did, was she said, it's the first time in my life that I understand what I am doing at school. I can read things, I can write things, I can get there. And they help me. Mommy, they help me. And with those words, I said, I've done the right thing by Sarah. And also we found with Sarah that she's quite good in the acting side of things, and she's good also in the physical education, the PE side. And she's just thriving. Like I picked her up on a Friday it was, and she ran and she says, I missed you, Mummy, with her British accent that she's got now. And she just looks so happy and well, and maturity again, like independence again. And I don't know, just confidence. I mean, confidence is a big thing for a child. If a child hasn't got confidence, they won't thrive in any area. And that's what Sarah needed. And she gained that confidence through Morton, because they explained things, they helped her, they guided her, and that gave her the strength to say, I can do this for the first time in her life. And that's the truth. I've been in American schools, I've been in Mexican schools, and this is the first school that's done it.
Which is so lovely to hear, and I hope that with Morton that, you know, we give that to every student. If they're here like your girls for a longer time, if they're here for a shorter time. And then Maria and Adriana, we've got lovely families coming for the first time from Mexico to our family summer school starting very soon, and they will get that care. And I think that for me, after 15 years, is, I always used to say that to the girls in my GCSE English class, that, you know, it's a real privilege to come to a beautiful school and beautiful setting. But I was so impressed with their kindness and their humility, and they're the two very important values that they will take through life, to be kind to each other. And it's a school that does feel joyful, and the staff generally are smiling, and the kids are generally smiling, and it's a place where, you know, we might be quirkier than some schools, but we appreciate everyone's an individual, and go and live your most beautiful individuality. That's fine, as long as we all get you on the right path. They're going to be very different, which I think is so important. And Maria and Adriana, just to kind of a final question for you both. In terms of Mexico, we know that it's, the families that we've had are absolutely lovely, and it's a very popular, I don't like using the word market because we're talking about people, aren't we? But is there anything in the moment in Mexico that's something new, or something you think schools need to think about more? Is there any changes, anything that's affecting kind of Mexican families at the moment?
Well, we noticed that some schools in the UK are changing the except weekends and the half terms, and that's a good thing. I know that for Moreton, the girls can stay, and I think that part of in general for the UK, it's a good thing, because it's, as you mentioned before, the thing that plan a trip, a half-term trip, is like crazy for the family. So I see that there are changes about that. And the other thing, it's with the student visas, there are changes these past weeks, that making us some like trouble, I think, that because there are putting another requirements. But I think that with you as a partner, we can solve these kind of things. And in every country there are changes for visas.
Yeah.
So I think that we can manage all of this. And again, we have the communication with you. So that is a very good thing for us with you and Morton Hall.
Yeah, the same for us, and we love working with you guys because, and I think coming out to spend time with you really helped that as well, because it's spending that face-to-face time together, isn't it? And obviously, you know, in terms of, I think it's sharing a philosophy. Like, I can feel straight away that you really both care about your families. You give so much care and attention. But we also had such, and with Lindsay as well, we even brought Lindsay into your office. It was such a good fun time to have with it. We had many laughs and smiles. But, you know, we're such lovely families who obviously have a lot of respect for you both. And I think they really benefited from also listening to Lindsay as a mom, to hear that real life. You know, yeah, I've had daughters that have gone to the school. You know, you can trust the school, and I think the relationship is so important. Maria, how about you? Are there any changes that you feel that might affect the way that Mexican families choose schools? Anything that we should think more about from this side?
Right now, I think it's also what Adriana said, it's about the visas. And it's not only the UK, the whole world is changing, especially with immigration stuff. So I'm usually the one that handles these things in the agency, and I think it's a great time for the UK because I think it's one of the easiest visa applications to make. But
Okay.
right now with Canada and the US, we're struggling a bit um, because of politics or like only immigration things. But I think in the UK, it's a really like very nice opportunity for the families to take advantage that the visa is not as complicated as other countries, and we really like we really love like working with Morton because for the half terms, Jenna was saying also about that. Maybe like thinking of Europeans families is not as like it's not trouble. Like okay, come home, take a train, and go home.
It's
It
like
is
2 hours.
taking a flight of 10 hours going back to Mexico 4 times a year, and if our families are only going for a year, coming back 4 times, it is crazy. So. So
Yeah.
we really love about that in Morton. And yes, I think the market is changing really. Like the families are, like I say, they are very family oriented. They are looking for schools that they really care about the students and they're not just a number.
That's a really good point, isn't it? That they're not just a number.
Yeah.
So with that then, Lindsay, final word to you. If there's a mom sitting there like you were a few years ago thinking, oh, do I do it? Should I do it? What would your advice be to those families?
I would say take the plunge because, I mean, obviously every child's different. Every child's needs are different. But I've got two completely different girls, and you know that yourself because you got to know my girls. And I think they'll be absolutely fine. Go do it. They will get so much out of it, and you will feel so proud of them when you get them back home that you'll be all happy. Honestly,
Thank you.
I don't regret my decision.
And for me, it's a massive thank you to all three of you because, you know, it is about the family. It is about relationships with us, with consultants, with families. And, you know, Lindsay, as a parent, you know, you can feel how much, you know, you love those girls and
Yeah.
you know, that communication is so important. And Maria and Adriana, it's like the families you take on become your families. And I know they're messaging you through the night as well. And it's just, it's a real joy to do that with all three of you, and thank you for making my life easier. And I know also when we next get back together in February in Monterey, I'll bring you some scones, Maria,
Yes.
first of all. And anything else you want, Adriana, as well. And
Thank you.
Lindsay, I know that you're in over here at the moment, and we will catch up. We can have scones and take some nice pictures and show them to Maria. Right. Well, thank you all so much, and I'm sure that's just so helpful for families in Mexico. Just a very natural, open, honest conversation, and from all of our different angles as to, you know, what we should be doing to support families in Mexico as well. So thank you all so much. I've loved spending some time chatting to you.